What's up, y'all? This is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth player analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch basketball. In this series, we're going to be looking over every single prospect, and in today's episode, we're going to be looking at Ajay Mitchell. And tomorrow, we're going to have our full mock draft, and we're going to explore the 2024 NBA draft class. Now let's discuss Ajay Mitchell's offensive strengths. The first of which is his ability to play in the pick and roll, where he does a really nice job probing and creating for himself. This is why he averages 1.014 points per possession in the pick and roll. Secondly, I think he's extremely talented, not getting rushed and playing at his own pace. This is a skill that many guards don't have in this draft class, as a lot of guards don't know how to deal with the pressure that they're going to see in the pros. Next, he's really good at creating for others with a 1.53 assist to turnover ratio. And finally, I think he projects to be really good in transition because he has a really good IQ in passing, and he's not going to be rushed, and he's able to get balanced when he finishes. When you look at a player such as an AJ Johnson that is really fast, AJ Mitchell does not have that level of explosiveness, but what Mitchell does have is the ability to remain under control and have a finish at the rim, even if it is at his max speed, even if his max speed is a bit lower than some other guys may be. There's still some pretty big offensive weaknesses to AJ Mitchell's game. The first of which is his tendency to over dribble. While he does do a really nice job playing at his own pace, sometimes he has the ability and he has the idea to think that he's going to be able to probe and navigate through screens that just might not have angles for him to get through. Secondly, he does not shoot much from beyond the arc, as only 22% of all of his shots were threes. He shot a good percentage, but it's just not what he likes to do. And finally, he has very limited experience playing off the ball, which is a cause for concern. Now let's look at AJ Mitchell's film. In this possession, AJ Mitchell is going to do a really nice job showcasing his abilities to make reads in transition. I love his simple pass ahead here as it leads to an easy score. On this next possession, the defense never really gets set, and he has a slow drive that's kind of a mix between isolation and transition. However, I love the slow, under control Euro step finish. On this possession, there are a couple of things that are important to note. The first of which is look at the separation right here. The Long Beach State defender is at the nail while AJ Mitchell has his foot just above the three-point line. This should be an in-rhythm three-point shot. Mitchell chooses not to take it, but I do like his patience to pump fake and step through. But the touch isn't there and it doesn't go in. Right here, AJ Mitchell is once again going to have a look in transition. I think here, maybe he makes his pass ahead, but I think he's concerned with this gap right here having active hands, and I really don't mind him stepping into this shot. I think it's a good look, but I don't think he's the best shooter, which is why it doesn't fall. Now let's move on and watch him in the pick and roll. Right here, AJ Mitchell is going to call for a ball screen versus drop coverage. For those of you who don't know, drop coverage is right here, and as you see, he's playing below the big. Mitchell pump fakes and has an easy step through score. And these are the type of plays that I mean when I say he plays at his own pace. He's looking for a step through, he's playing off of 2 feet, and he's doing the little things. On this possession, the screen is never fully set. However, Mitchell's still under control and uses a crafty pump fake to score. On this next possession, it's a double drag action. Mitchell's going to reset it though because he doesn't have that explosiveness to get by. Now he has a switch on him and he backs down his man and finishes off of 2 feet. These are the fundamental things that you would expect to see from a 22-year-old playing in this draft class. He's not going to wow you in any particular area, but when you do this many things right, it is exciting. On this next possession, AJ Mitchell is going to call for a ball screen and then twist it. After he twists the screen, he does a great job getting downhill and having a touch shot. I love the fact that he's able to go at full speed here. However, his touch isn't there, and I think maybe if 23 on UC Santa Barbara was spaced better, there's a dump off there, but it's not, and instead Mitchell takes a tough shot. Right here, AJ Mitchell is once again going to be in a ball screen. This is something he loves to do, and this is how he operates as a player. He's going to refuse the ball screen and then step through for a nice touch shot finish. If you haven't realized it already, you're going to see a lot of the same moves when watching Ajay Mitchell play, because that's just how he plays basketball. He's going to have a patient, calm, and relaxed game. Right here, he refuses and gets an and one finish. Very simple stuff, but it's exciting. He loves twisting the ball screen, and you see that here, and he tries to go up for a Euro step. He draws a foul, and it's once again very impressive. Now let's look at him just as a straight line driver in the pick and roll. He's going to call for a ball screen here, and it's almost like a wing ball screen. I hate this spacing right here with having 3 guys. I think they're trying to maybe be in something like of a double or pistol, but you have to get out if you're number 8 on UC Santa Barbara here. He doesn't do that, but Mitchell's able to have an awesome straight line drive. It seems like New Mexico was having a soft hedge as you see number 23 take a step out. Ajay Mitchell does an awesome job getting around him, turning the corner, and this guy doesn't have a gap in time, so Mitchell is able to get to the rim and have a bucket. On this possession, it's going to be another ball screen. Ajay Mitchell's standing at the wing right here, and he's going to call for it, and this time he has a potential opportunity for a shake man. The Cal Poly defenders are going to have a hard hedge and honestly blitz the ball screen, where Ajay Mitchell is going to split and score. On this possession, Ajay Mitchell is going to be in a ball screen. He first comes over the DHO, however he calls for it again, takes the screen, and now makes multiple moves to score. This is what I talk about when I say he does over dribble, but sometimes it leads to positive results, such as the possession we just saw. Right here, Mitchell once again is not rushed, even though he gets it in a potential closeout spot, rips through, and scores. On this possession, Ajay Mitchell is going to attack drop coverage, and we're going to see that on right here. Mitchell's going to get the ball and then have a spread pick and roll situation. However, the big he's attacking is really not a good athlete and is some random 6'7" center out of Hawaii. Some scouts may question if that translates to a player like a Clint Capella. On this possession, Ajay Mitchell is going to have to deal with a more aggressive hedge from the defense. However, he changes direction, attacks the big, and has a floater finish. On this next possession, it's more attacking of drop coverage. It's first a hard hedge, as you see right here, but Mitchell waits and then has a big with a drop coverage come up, and it's an extended finish. On this next play, it's a double drag action, and it's an automatic shot. When looking at him shooting in the pick and roll, we're going to see some more of that right here, where Ajay Mitchell first passes the ball up, but then comes off of a flare screen, calls for the flare man to set another ball screen, and then has a sick step back 3. While Mitchell is talented in the pick and roll, there are some weaknesses. An example of that is his inability to sometimes finish through contact. As you saw there, his pickup point was high and it really hurt him. On this next play, he's going to call for another screen, and the defense is being really aggressive, so Mitchell settles for a long mid-range. Not a winning play. When looking at Mitchell as a passer in the pick and roll, we're going to see a little bit of that here. He calls for a screen, throws a lob pass, and it's a simple finish. He does a lot of the simple things. I don't think he's going to wow you with his passing, but once again, I think he's a really nice pick in the mid-second round because of things like this. He hits the shake here, and it's another really good example. On this next possession, he's going to call for another ball screen, which I feel like I may have said 100 times in this video. He looks and then hits a nice late roll man. What I love seeing here is how he's able to fake out this help side defender. He looks in this direction to force this man to take a step out here, and then he hits the roll man for an easy dunk. While this is true, there are still stretches where his passes look lazy and carefree. I think when you combine that with a tendency to over dribble, it does make me somewhat concerned. As you see right here, he predetermines that he's going to make this skip pass, and it's a turnover. On this next play, he's going to call for a ball screen versus drop coverage. And what I like seeing here is him following drop coverage principles. When this screen occurs, the second this guy is able to get below the drop, it's an automatic lob, and that's what Ajay Mitchell throws. On this next play, he's going to come off of a dribble handoff, but continue to look to pass. We see that right here, where Mitchell's going to get the ball, dribble, get into the paint, and just make a simple kick after drawing two. These are plays that are just fun to see. Now let's watch a little bit of Ajay Mitchell in isolation, but he doesn't live there much. Right here, he's going to call for a clear side post up, drop step, and score. While these drop step or baseline spin scores are cool, oftentimes there will be stretches in isolation where he takes shots such as this one. He's going to drive in and then try to attempt to step through from a long 2-point range. That's not a winning play. Right here, he's in isolation, doesn't know what to do, and it leads to a settle for a bad mid-range. On this play, he does do a nice job in isolation, and he once again is able to be patient, calm, and relaxed. He jabs, rips through, and finishes off two to score. On this final clip, Mitchell is going to call for the ball in something similar to a post-up situation. Mitchell's going to get the ball, face up, jab, and score. When looking at Mitchell's defensive strengths, the first of which is his intelligence in the gaps. Mitchell is very often in a good spot in the MIG or at the nail, and it's a big reason why he had 34 steals last season. He's also 6'6", inches with his wingspan, which is really talented for a guard. Having a long guard in the gaps is promising defensively, and that's really all of his strength. There are still some pretty bad defensive weaknesses for Ajay Mitchell. The first of which is the fact that he's an extremely slow athlete who finished in the bottom half of most combine drills. Additionally, while I love his gap at aggressiveness and desire to make plays, it does lead to issues as he has a tendency to overhelp, which is made worse by the fact that he's slower. Next, he's sometimes lazy on closeouts and borderline just doesn't try, which is concerning, and his screen navigation is poor. Let's start off and watch Ajay Mitchell in the gaps. On this possession, Ajay Mitchell is guarding his man, who then comes off a dribble handoff. After this action though, Mitchell is engaged, and look at this cat and mouse game that he plays. He swipes, gets back, and gets a steal. On this next play, Ajay Mitchell is competing and making winning plays in the gaps. As the ball is in the post, Mitchell is ready, he rotates over, stays at the nail, and gets an easy steal. It's that length and intelligence that makes him a really high off-ball defender. On this next play, Ajay Mitchell remains in the gaps against Hawaii as he plays at the nail, is in great positioning, and gets a free steal. Steals aren't the only result of playing in the gaps, and we're going to see that right here. He's playing in the gaps and is honestly a touch low initially, but then he has to go navigate a ball screen, which he does nicely, gets a contest, and it's a miss. There are still issues with him overhelping, and we're going to see that here. Ajay Mitchell's initially guarding the ball in this clip, but then he comes all the way over, is late, and then allows his man to have a wide open corner three. On this next clip, it's another questionable closeout from Ajay Mitchell. Ajay Mitchell here is stunting, swiping at the ball, but he completely has a flyby and is beat. And it's not like this strategic flyby closeouts where you're doing a full rotate. It's simply he's not quick enough to shuffle his feet. We're going to see that here on this next clip, where once again, it's just a bad closeout and he's immediately ripped through. Bad closeouts are one thing, but it is lazy closeouts such as this one that make me even more concerned. I honestly don't care what this player shot in the regular season. When they take shots that are honestly completely uncontested because of no closeout, it is going to allow them to make shots. Right here, Mitchell starts off as the MIG and then doesn't even bother to close out the shooter who misses the three, but Mitchell got lucky. Now let's finish off and watch Ajay Mitchell in driving line situations. Right here, Ajay Mitchell is in the gaps and now has to guard in isolation, which he does poorly. On this next clip, Ajay Mitchell is going to immediately open up his hips as soon as a change of direction occurs. change of direction, he opens up, and it's an easy layup. While this is true, there are flashes on plays such as this one where Ajay Mitchell is good in the driving line. Right here, he's swiping his hands high on the ball, and it leads to a steal. It's those flashes that are exciting. However, he follows it up more often than not with struggling to navigate screens, such as this zoom action where he's completely taken out of the play. On this next action, Ajay Mitchell struggles navigating a screen. He gets clipped, and honestly, it's just not the best effort. I like seeing him try to come back at the end, but you've got to bully the ball screen. Right here, same thing, same story, simply too easy.
Lucas.
This next possession, it's another instance of that where Ajay Mitchell really struggles. What I hate here is that he actually gets through the screen, but once the big gets out, he slows down, and it leads to a layup. On this final clip for Ajay Mitchell, he's going to go under the ball screen and get clipped. This is bad, and he needs to be more skilled. Right here, he goes under, gets clipped, and gives up a 3. Overall, I think Ajay Mitchell has the makings of a really solid backup in the NBA. He's smart, poised, and under control. I think that is probably going to be his ceiling, and I don't really buy any higher end comps for him. I don't think that there's anything he does at an elite level, which is why I project him to just be a solid backup. But if you can get a solid backup in the second round, preferably in the late 30s, early 40s, you're getting an absolute steal. I like that for Ajay Mitchell, and I think that he could be a really good contributing piece. When looking at what his floor could be, I think the number one concern is that his shot is not good enough and that he could be too slow to get NBA minutes. He's also older, so he may fall more because teams don't want to take a shot on a 22-year-old playing in the Big West Conference. Overall, that's my take, and thanks for watching another episode of The Rim Review.